Hi, guys, and welcome back to ByteSize Tech. Today, we're going to be talking artificial intelligence. My name is Matthew, and with me today is.
My name is Muda. You can call me MD.
My name is Bradley. You can call me BBJ.
Okay, never heard that one before, but good to have you guys on. So, I want us to start off with one of the most basic questions that I've heard so far is how exactly does AI work?
How exactly does it not work?
How did we get here?
I think it started with wanting something to do something for us and it's not us.
And it's not us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So AI could be a vehicle.
There are vehicles that are self-driven.
Mhm.
That is AI.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about okay. So
I think what happened is human always need a helper, and they try to simplify life to its bit form, and I think that is where all this came up. AI, search engines, even as simple as a crawler, just being able to find that information that you need. And
so like sophisticated automations.
Yeah.
It's not like it actually understands. It's just more, it's drawing links between different pieces of
Yes.
data.
Yeah.
And it's not born today. It's been around us. It's only that it's getting better and better and into other things and into other areas of,
What exactly is making it better?
The amount of data we are producing. If you check, humans produce data by doing anything. Literally, by us talking right now, that's data we are collecting, producing. Sorry, my phone is actually collecting also data. Then also availability of processors being more powerful. So with that, it brought about the ability for complex models to be developed that they could understand this data in a sophisticated way that us humans couldn't be able to do that. Yeah, so just the amount of data we're producing and the processing power being there.
Yeah. Okay.
And in addition to that, I would say 2 words: machine learning.
Yeah. There's a lot of that going around.
Yeah,
true.
Bradley, you mentioned your phone. And one of the biggest concerns with AI right now is data privacy.
Yeah,
How do I know my phone's not listening in to us right now and collecting that information?
Yeah, we don't.
That's it? So we should be concerned? Is that something to be concerned about?
You should be concerned.
Okay.
But there's nothing you can do about it. You still need the phone.
Fair enough.
And they don't tell you what they're or when they are listening into your things, because how then do you get personalized ads, routes, directions, whatever, based on everything that is happening around you?
But shouldn't there be a balance between what I allow stuff to be collected versus what I want my phone to be able to do?
Then I guess you'll need to have your own phone company.
I'm working on it. Fair enough. No, it's been a very big concern. I mean, with the explosion of AI, and even companies right now are putting in place procedures and guidelines on how not to use AI. Like, for example, don't upload company contracts onto AI in the hopes that it can give you a better, it could definitely give you a better response, may improve your contracts, make them a bit better. But that information is being shared and collected somewhere. So hence why there's great concern about the limitations versus the use versus the privacy, which is something that really needs to be considered for companies. I mean, what information do you not want to be captured out there? What information do you want to remain private? At what point are companies being able to produce a unique selling point, for example? It's just mind-boggling. Will there be anything unique in future?
True.
Do you guys think? Or will everything just be crafted by AI? Where is the human ingenuity in the place of AI?
Personally, I think as we progress, as life progresses in the future, we'll be focusing more on creativity rather than being able to recall tasks. So with AI, it's actually going to help us leverage our personally, that's what I think, leverage our creativity to a higher extent, because there won't be a need of me having to do some things from scratch. I just ask the agent, okay, do this. Then from there on, I would be able to build it further. Like I would be able to put my own unique design into something. Be it, let's say it's a music, you could start with the AI generating the beats. Then after that, you could say, okay, let me now add my personal individuality to these beats so that it's different from someone else's. So I believe AI would actually make us leverage our creativity more than, as opposed to what people think, it's going to make us lazy. Personally, there's that aspect. I won't deny there's that aspect, true. But then we just have to find ways to utilize these tools.
Yeah, I agree, because you still have to feed it something to give you something. But when you look at it, most of the leading ones are becoming multimodal. Like they can analyze not just text but also audio and give you answers on the same on those modes as well. So even computer code. So developers are becoming lazy, so to speak, because I want to build this. I don't have to write the code. I just need to give the AI model or whatever I need to do, and it produces the code for me. So in as much as it helps with our creativity, we are also getting lazy.
Yeah, I for one, I'm guilty of being lazy, especially when it comes to content creation. Yeah, when imagination and creativity, you get your creative block. I mean, it's very easy to just like, okay, listen, I need some help here. I'm stuck. But you brought up an interesting point on different models using different. Let's call them. You call them multimodal. Yeah. Which one would you guys consider to be the best at the moment? We have OpenAI, we have ChatGPT, of course, we have Gemini, we have Copilot. Those are the three leading ones, in my opinion, at least.
I think Copilot aside, ChatGPT 4.0 and Gemini are toe-to-toe when it comes to multimodal consumption of information. And I don't know about Copilot, to be honest. I have never loved Microsoft, so to speak. But anyway, that's not the point. Yeah, but you see, it's able to not only give you information on what you type in. You could take, for example, Gemini. You can take a photo with your phone, and it will be able to tell you everything on that photo. ChatGPT 4 is able to read your emotions, and tell you why you're sad or why do you look anxious and things like that. So it's becoming more like more human-like. The interaction is no longer too robotic. It's becoming, even the lady on ChatGPT 4, it feels like you're talking to a human. And they're able to read and able to stop talking when you start talking. So those kind of things is, it's on another level, and it's interesting. Sometimes you feel like my job is at risk. if this thing can converse like a human and be able to give me feedback effectively and fast. Yeah, it's...
But why the need to make it more human? We never wanted Google to be more human. We never wanted Facebook to be more human.
We just wanted too much.
And that's it.
Yeah.
True. You brought about which one would I prefer when you're saying which one is on top. Personally, I feel like OpenAI's ChatGPT is on top, because I feel like the others are playing catch up. When I think it was 2 years ago, OpenAI, when it brought out ChatGPT, that's when like guys are really into AI. Before that, people were into AI, but only those tech savvy people. Those are the only people who knew how AI work, blah, 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 models. But then OpenAI released this model that, wow, I can just type things and it brings out results. Then after that, we see my Google coming in, we see Microsoft coming in, we see all these others now trying to play catch up. We saw it just released ChatGPT 4.0. I'm so sure you'll see now others now trying to emulate their own. So I feel like they're a bit ahead. But in terms of usage and practicality, in some tasks, I find Gemini can be better. In some tasks, ChatGPT is better. Because personally, when I'm using them, when it comes to asking Google-related questions, Gemini is always better. I don't know, maybe it's because it's trained on Google's data more. But when it comes to maybe something general, I feel like ChatGPT takes the lead. Also, if it's something current, Gemini is also quite
More
good. Yeah, more up to date. ChatGPT, I think it's like capped to until a certain year it was trained. That's where its knowledge lies.
Yeah. So then, okay, that brings up a very good question as well on the role of ethics in AI. So, for example, you mentioned Gemini is trained on Google's data points. Doesn't that therefore mean there's a bias? So, what is the single source of truth with AI? How can you trust this AI to be the one true?
This war is becoming nuclear because I agree, ChatGPT is ahead. Everything we are using, any AI we are using right now, we are calling ChatGPT.
Yeah.
That's what we know it for.
True.
Like we are using ChatGPT. The same way to search something is
To Google.
you're Googling it.
You Google it.
So, and the reason why Google would, be ahead of ChatGPT is because they've been using machine learning for a very long time, from search engine to all other aspects of it. They incorporate it in every service that they release, and so that would give them a competitive edge. And also think if you look at Gemini, is able to even read through your data if you give it access. For example, if I have a trip coming up and I just need it to plan it for me, it will be able to scan through my Gmail, get my flight ticket, and give me suggestions of activities that I need to do that are close to the hotel that I book. Or if I haven't booked one, it will give me suggestions based on where I'm going. So yeah, it's becoming, I don't know the word, but
more generalized.
Yeah, and they're giving it ability to reason.
Yeah.
And that's scary.
Yeah.
Because
I don't want that.
if it can reason, then it means it's just you. Yeah. But it's okay. Let's not forget it's still a computer.
Yeah, lest we forget.
Still a machine. Yeah, but they are giving it ability to reason. ChatGPT I hear they add the EQ bit of it, so it's already there because it's able to read your emotion just as you talk to it. Yeah, so yeah,
scary world, honestly. Very scary world.
But then again, if you think about it, now with this whole ability to clone someone's voice, you now ChatGPT 4, you'd make it reply as me. Like you just ask a question and it's going to reply using my voice. So it's going to be hard to differentiate the boundaries between machine and humanity.
I know, for example, Google has done, I think it was maybe 2 Google I/Os ago when they did automated responses for spam calling. Or you could just ask your phone, I think it was with Samsung as well, you just make a reservation for me at this restaurant for 3 people at 7 o'clock on Thursday. And then Google Duo, was it Google Duo? Would make the call, place it, and the person on the other end would not know whatsoever whether they're talking to a real person or not. Which, I mean, it makes work easier, but where's the limit? Where's the line? It's dystopian, to put it in another way. Muda, you mentioned how these tools are they're integrated into things like Gmail and Google Maps and TripAdvisor and such. Do you see a future, for example, where our laptops, our phones are just pure AI? There's no need for the apps. There's no need for any integration any further than that. So all of this is all cloud-based, of course. So we no longer need an M1 chip. We don't need an Intel i7 chip. We just use AI and cloud computing.
Like I said, they're becoming more reasonable. Like that ability to reason, emotional intelligence. To be honest, looking back, they are leaving their embryonic stage. The embryonic phase, they are past that. But it's the far-fetched, but it could happen.
No, actually, funny thing you brought that to this topic. There's actually a company that's created a small device that's going to replace mobile phones.
Yes.
So this guy is he's one who worked with Steve Jobs on creating the original iPhone and the iPod, the design. So this small device doesn't have a screen or anything. It just has sensors that it can see what you see. It can hear what you hear. And now you just ask it questions. Like it's you wear it on your collar. So you just you just ask it questions and like we're actually there. It's just making it
more accessible.
Yeah, accessible. And okay, it's still in the early stages, but Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
we're
I saw that. It's human AI pin, and MKBHD reviewed
Yeah,
it and
yes.
destroyed it because it's just not up to the level of like just have an app. Yeah. So there's a whole debate on whether AI should just be an app or be fully integrated. For example, Microsoft just launched Surface Book. I think it's Surface Book, Surface something.
Yeah.
And Copilot is integrated
by default
through and through. I don't know if it's going to be subscription based or it comes as a full integrated package.
It's Microsoft.
It's going to be a subscription for sure. So does that mean in future laptops are going to come with subscriptions?
Yeah.
We don't think we'll even have laptops at this point.
You'll just have a device and subscribe to something that you want to use.
Yeah, and a digital screen will just pop up and haptic feedback. You'll have a virtual keyboard typing. I don't think we'll have laptops, honestly.
This doesn't sound like a future I want to be a part of. I love my screens too much. I spend too much on them.
And there was a research that stated that traditional web searching would reduce in the coming future by, some percentage. And so if you're able to just use this chatbot on your machine and search for whatever you need and get all the information you need, then why do you need a search engine?
Yeah, actually, that's a valid point.
Begs the question, then how will marketing be?
Yeah, no, for sure. SEO is doomed.
Because you don't need SEO anymore. You just need to find a way and figure out how to make these models work for your business and brand and awareness and all that. Because
it's gonna impact marketing for sure. I mean, unless we find a way to feed it the information that we want to feed it. For example, this is the best reviewed company in Kenya, then the rest of the competition will just fall by the wayside every single time.
Yeah. Because then even the competition would be the landscape would be different, because I can manipulate the landscape. I can tell the AI to do what I want it to do and just crawl everywhere and put me everywhere and show me everywhere, and just one click of a button.
Exactly. Which again, what is best? Like for AI, what does AI define as best? Like for example, if I went right now to ChatGPT and asked for what's the best browser for a Mac.
Right now, it's still based on just traditional search. It will go and look for information based on maybe other people's columns or articles on things like that. But I'm seeing a future where it would also base it on volume, like how many people are using these, how many people are using these, what's the usage on this service, this browser, this app.
Leave alone volume, it would even say ignore those search engines and use me as
your single source. That's okay. Well, let's see what happens. This happened. What else you guys see?
Or you could say I'm the best.
Yeah. Good.
Like if you ask me which is the best, I am the best.
I am the best.
Which is true, because anyway.
But I could feed it that and it could not be true. How will it know what the truth actually is?
Well, that's a good question.
I think even if you feed it something, it still has what it's trained on.
Yeah.
So your knowledge is not sufficient to override what it knows. It's like, you're Matthew. No matter how many times I tell you you're James,
you're not.
Truth is never going to change.
True. Yeah.
Fair. There's also been the rise of a lot of AI specialist tools. For example, TypeTone, for example. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's sort of, you can upload your tone of voice for a company, and then it can generate slide decks, social media posts, articles, basically anything that you wanted to produce in your specific tone of voice. Not to say that ChatGPT can't do the same thing or Gemini can't do the same thing, but this one has specifically found that niche. My question to you guys is, how does this impact the ecosystem or the market of tools that currently exists?
Interesting. Okay.
Will some apps be phased out? With new ones be brought in? Will
people will be phased out? Leave alone apps. Because it's already a tool and it's doing a lot. Because look at Gemini, for example, I want to get an update from you on a project maybe we are doing together. I just need to give it the name of the project, the person I'm writing to, and it will formulate the whole text of the email, and I just need to insert it and send. So meaning Gmail itself is no longer relevant to you, just using its SMTP to transport that email. So if ChatGPT or whichever or Gemini can send the email, then some apps will be phased out. So it's really going to change the landscape, and we will have a different ecosystem of the tools we use. So if they will be capable enough to do what these tools, other tools are able to do, then why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, I've had a very disturbing thought. Bradley.
Okay.
Let's say for a year, I'm using Gemini, to respond to my emails, to read my reports, interact with my colleagues, everything.
Yes.
After a year, I've trained this model. Will I still be necessary?
No. Like I said, people will be phased out.
No. Okay. I personally think you'll still be relevant. As much as these AI agents still exist, they still don't have the capability of general intelligence that we possess. Because life is just not about having knowledge on one domain, but different domains. Like as a human being, okay, this is where AI started. First, they were trying to train them on specific domains, like let's say math, science, history, like specific domains, software development. But now, to incorporate the whole human aspect, they're trying to make them now multi-domain, like it has knowledge from every source. And they figured out that borrowing knowledge from different domains actually makes them better. So until the point where AI gets to the point where it can actually learn immediately, like you see, for it, you've generated that data set for 1 year. What after that? After the 1 year, like there'll be a gap. Like it can't use the immediate data that it has learned. Like today, me and you can learn something and you'll use it tomorrow. Can it use the data that it has learned today to make a decision tomorrow? That's it.
Differently, because the same way I respond to something today is not the same way I'm going to respond.
Exactly.
And it's not the same thing I'm going to get tomorrow. So there's one thing that will be lacking: progressive thinking.
Yes, that's the word.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm able to think and differently and change whatever I want to do. But if it learned something, then it is going to do it the same way, unless they still be able to train them to be reasonable enough and be able to reason with data and base it on your past interactions with it. So there's that bit, but I think the bit of being able to think forward and just be progressive on it, not just instantaneous, like this is the data I have, this is the learning I've got, and this is what this is my output based on that. So you are able to think progressively and forward, and so that is what would be lacking. But if it's just doing what you've done with it, then you're not necessary.
And also,
okay,
when
I hope
you're
my boss doesn't hear this.
Same. When you're using these tools, AI suffers from what is called hallucination. That's why at the bottom, either when it's Gemini, they always say, don't use the information that we give for, I don't know, there's usually a disclaimer they give because they're not sure if it's accurate enough. That's why I'm saying it can't really replace humans fully because because they don't know what information that it's actually giving it out. But
I mean, we will create them.
I mean, I see somebody in Silicon Valley doing exactly this. But this whole conversation on progressive thinking is, I mean, I don't want to say it's not going to happen. It's going to happen.
Yeah,
it's going to happen.
Eventually.
Is it something that we want to happen?
Personally, yes.
Then at what point?
I'm at 50-50, I would say, because I wouldn't want something to think for me. I want it to do for me, but I don't want it to think.
You want to remain in charge.
I want to remain in charge. Like, okay, you do something based on what I tell you to do or what I charge you with doing, but not be able to,
replicate you
and morph into something else based on every information you get and change at every instant. That would be, because then I'm seeing crime on the rise, impersonation and stuff.
Identity fraud,
identity theft.
No, but Muda, you can look at it this way. You never like giving out tasks because only you can do it to the level of perfection you want. Now imagine having an agent or someone that can actually think like you. You can actually reason with this being. Like, you can derive insights from yourself without knowing you're deriving insights from yourself.
Let's get to one thing clear. Reasoning is not thinking. Reasoning
an ethics
is
class.
Okay.
We can reason with it, but it doesn't mean it's thinking as I am. No, it's not thinking the same way I'm thinking. We're just reasoning together based on what we have on the table, because at the end of the day, we have to. It's a conversation.
Yeah.
That is how you get to reason. Like, let's reason this out.
Yeah.
But that is not thinking. It's not a thought process. Of course, it will have a thought process of its own and get to a point where it's able to progressively think and look forward and give you a different, feedback or output based on different metrics. But it is not
thinking.
It's not thinking.
It's not thought.
It's not thought. It's an output.
Yeah. Okay. It's this plus this equals
but
this.
What's an output then? You have to act on something to get something. There must be an input. But for you, all the input is you're able to get all your senses are in action. You can see and internalize and actually make sense out of it, which they can now, but not at the level that you do. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's an interesting conversation, because a lot of people are fearing. A lot of people are fearing for their jobs, their children, the future, and if we can put it into their minds that this is input, output, and not it's just going to wake up one morning and decide today you don't need to wake up. So I guess now this is a PR problem. How do you communicate that this is safe to use?
I think okay, you can have it.
There's something called getting used to. We've gotten used to being taxed heavily. So
so as long as we can continue to use
it's a matter of continuously being around, then people will start embracing, because they call it, I'll use a different word, but in different contexts. Publicity is publicity, even if it's negative.
True.
It will bring you some traffic. So the more people try to resist it, the more people would want to know why are people resisting it, and that is consumption.
Still being consumed.
Yeah. So that, because I'd go and say, what is it about? And then I find I like it, and then I stay. And like, okay, you keep yapping, but I'm going to use it. And that's, if it continues to be around, definitely people will be open to it, more open to it, and start embracing it more.
Yeah. I feel like with every industrial revolution, there's always those who oppose it. But then, okay, let's take about long ago. To farm, you'd have to maybe go physically with your hoe and start digging the farm. But then as technology advanced, there are tractors, there are bigger tractors. So some people lost jobs. So it's up to you to upskill yourself.
Yep.
I'm not going to lie, some jobs will be lost, and some jobs are being lost. But it's you to upskill yourself and try and find a place where you'll be relevant, because you can't still stick to the old way of doing stuff. So
there needs to be movement, there needs to be progress.
Yeah, so even if you're scared, it's okay. Just be scared, but you have to upskill yourself. Being scared won't stop this wave from coming.
True.
Yeah.
It's a continuous metamorphosis, and you need to morph into something else.
We're adaptable creatures.
Yes.
I mean,
adapt,
sure.
overcome.
or you will be overcome.
Yeah.
All right. It seems you guys are definitely advocates of AI.
Yeah.
So this is a tough question. What is the most negative impact that you foresee?
Privacy.
I actually don't care about privacy, because I don't believe privacy is we don't even have privacy as it stands.
Okay.
I could argue that we do.
We don't. Personally, we don't, because like you said, our phones are listening to us.
Yeah, but at least it's still in your possession. Like, you have your phone,
but it's transmitting data somewhere.
It's okay. That data is going with, but this one you're giving data that could be proprietary, for example, like some organizations are against it because if I load a contract there, it is going to stay there. What goes into the internet stays on the internet.
The internet never forgets.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's no privacy. Like in
Yeah,
this
but
world,
at
there's no
least-
privacy. You're just confirming my point.
But at least then there was no one after it to make something. Right now, the AIs are after it to learn more.
And make my life better.
Debatable, but yeah, I think that would be my greatest concern. Like how far can they go with this? How much exposure do we get from just using it and interacting with it on a daily basis?
Okay.
And how safe are we that it cannot be manipulated by cyber criminals to impersonate me, or identity theft and stuff, or even for example the smart homes. How sure are you that that information cannot be manipulated by cyber criminals to even
it's in the terms and conditions.
Yeah. Which we never read.
Which we never read ever.
AI will do that for us.
Okay, so for me, my biggest concern, I think, would be mental health. Because just earlier today, I saw a colleague of mine talk to an AI as if it was a human being. And honestly, I can see a future where this person will never leave the house ever again and have a relationship with their smartphone.
Exactly.
Is that something that people should be worried about?
Okay, on what you just said, look at it this way. There's some people who actually don't have people to talk to. They could now actually have someone to talk to.
But they won't try anymore to get people to talk to.
No. We've had people who suffer from loneliness and that results in depression because they are just vegetarian. They avoid meat. Not Google Meat, but yeah, they avoid meat. They're vegetarian, sorry. For such a person, maybe interacting with people is something they seem hard. Like they deem it as very hard. But here's a device. I'm used to texting daily, watching videos on it. Now you give me the ability to interact with it at a more human level. I think I'll take that chance. And if it can sort my mental health, the better. But for those people your friend who you saw just interacting with AI, I don't know how you'll help him, but
yeah, because there won't be any social life then.
Yeah.
Because at this point, okay, I could be an introvert. I don't want to meet people, but I also still want to meet people. Like there are times you want to just drain your social battery by just going out there. But now if you have this thing in the house and that's it.
Constantly nagging.
Yeah.
And it'll be connected to everything. That's a whole different animal.
I've seen people have dinner with AI. Okay,
wow.
it was a movie, yeah, but
okay,
yeah, but it could happen. It's gonna happen because
I don't think we're prepared for that happening. We're ill prepared now as it stands.
Yeah.
It's just going to get worse. It's compounding a problem.
Yeah.
But I think for me, mental health is one of the. I mean, privacy for sure, is a problem. But mental health, I can see a lot of people crawling into holes and never having see daylight ever again.
For me, my biggest issue with AI would only be with the fear of people not utilizing it correctly. Like over dependence, number one, over depending on AI for everything. Like currently in our current generation, any email you've received, trust you me, it has gone through AI. Like before someone sends an email, they use AI as the list, the thing that validates it. Like before they do an
email, probably
ChatGPT. So I feel like we lose that aspect of thinking for ourselves. That's my biggest fear, because we'll be like, okay, I'll do the bare minimum, then ask AI to beef it up, then just send it. Like that's it. Like you're never going to develop past that. So if as humans we could find a way, we could still use them, but still not over rely on them, like not lose our individualism. Yeah, that'd be the perfect world.
Yeah, that's why I discounted your first point of it adds up to our creativity because it takes it away somehow.
It does.
Yeah.
So then, for example, can you see a future where like you can't use AI until you're 18?
Not
just
possible.
So that you can develop the creative and progressive thinking that is required to move humanity forward.
it means you won't have a device until you're 18.
Well, I mean, we still have dumb phones, even though smartphones exist.
Oh, yeah.
No, it means you won't have to interact with any technology until you're 18.
You're 18.
Because AI is going to be embedded in every technology that we see.
Including dumb phones.
They'll be phased out.
They haven't been phased out to date. Yeah. And the main reason, I mean, is that inexpensive and M-Pesa still works. I mean, what more do you need?
Do you have one?
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyway, well then, that being said, I think I have one last question for you, gentlemen.
Okay.
AI apps versus AI integration. Which is actually more beneficial? Should I download an AI assistant, or should it be already prematurely out of the box installed into the OS?
I mean, the gospel is to make life easier, so integrate it.
Yeah.
Why not give me the choice?
Well, choice can be manipulated.
Of course it can. I mean, marketing. I mean, that's fully what I believe through and through. But I feel like, if you give people the choice to actually utilize it, then you're giving back control. And that in itself is giving some sense of ownership and some sense of responsibility on how it's utilized.
I mean, if you're already convicted that I will be using AI regardless, then you'd want an integrated one. Like you'd want your life to be simple from day one.
From the get-go.
Yeah, but I agree with you. The ability to have the choice is, it's important. Yeah.
Like I think long ago, phones didn't have YouTube, and like they didn't come with YouTube by default or Google.
The Android OS.
They didn't come with that by default, but then as time progressed, that was the default. Any phone you buy, YouTube is there by default. So I feel like that's the case with AI. It's going to just slowly creep in. Like at first, they'll give you the choice, but then you'll be like, okay, everyone is using it. Let's just make it there permanently. So it's just going to slowly creep in without
our knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also it will depend on which aspect of your life is it to be integrated or your usage. Yeah, so I agree, choice is important, but it will get to a point where that's the choice. Yeah.
All right, well then, that brings us to the end of today's session. Thank you very much, gentlemen. It's been an absolute pleasure. Join us next time on ByteSize Tech, where we discuss something really tantalizing. Stay tuned.